allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on our agenda is board appointments. Chris, you stepping up?
I believe I share a few other functions. That responsibility might be a little heavy for me.
It's a good time to volunteer the people that didn't show up.
Absolutely. Well, I agree that you do an amazing job there. So.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah,
It doesn't matter to me either way. I will or not. Don't matter.
I make a motion to propose Mr. Will to retain chairman of the Summit Township Planning Commission.
I'll second.
We need to do the rest of the board at the same. Who was vice and you're going to take it? Who was Chris Lynch? So do we automatically put him in?
Yep.
Okay, so he's been nominated. Secretary?
Debbie?
Okay. I guess all in favor of those?
Let me get that straight. It's Tim, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor of the appointments?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the annual written report from 2022. Pretty straightforward again.
Yeah, I think it's just one correction. I don't think I was noted on there, remember.
You didn't get your pen
What
in.
was the report? No, I
Okay, thank you.
Wow, you were eliminated. Are you here? Yeah, you're right.
Perfect.
See, I didn't read these things.
I read it, but I didn't see that.
I read it.
So I guess any other corrections? I guess all in favor of that single correction and to move forward with that?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of last month's, well, I guess it was November's, regular business meeting of the Planning Commission. Any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Correspondence, Tammy?
I have nothing, thank you.
Lake Erie Premier Properties, LLC, Subdivision Plan. So you're on.
Yes, sir. Hi, good evening. So what I'd like to get approved tonight would be 4 lots that are right on Robinson Road. These had been approved preliminarily months ago. I don't remember the date of it, but we had to wait to get I believe all the utilities in order, which I think sewer was the big one. We got that sorted out, and so I believe it's ready to be brought to you guys for approval.
Would that have to be a module part of this?
I'm sorry?
Just asking if we need to approve the sewer module as part of this, or that comes later?
Well, I think that comes later. We can do that later. Is it what?
Because would that have to be with the approval of this?
I believe we already did that. I think we did the planning module back when we did the original preliminary plan.
Okay,
It makes sense.
I guess that's what I thought the order was, but I don't remember it being part of it.
It probably, it wasn't part of the preliminary plan. It kind of came through, I think, during the summer. I think that's when we saw it was an individual item. It wasn't part of the original plan.
So would that be part of our yearly, it should be in that?
It should be in there.
did two sewage planning orders.
There it is, number 14.
What's that?
I said, oh, good, I didn't mind.
No, 4A planning board.
In April.
Is that correct?
Yeah, in April.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, no problem at all.
That. So any questions from the board? Brian? Comments?
So in my review, overall, the plan is consistent with the preliminary plan. I asked Mike Sanford to note the plan as phase 1 subdivision plan, since we have potentially additional phases with the preliminary plan. So whether this is phase 1, 2, or 3, but just to make sure it's a phase plan, that way in the future we know that it was a phase plan. And then this isn't replacing the preliminary plan.
I need to call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
Second.
With Matt's.
Yes.
Plan.
Yeah, Mike plans when he takes the plans, the county planning will
And then,
add that into the title block.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Summit Township Transportation Map.
All right. So we have the transportation plan up on the overhead. The township supervisors authorized the 45-day planning review period. So with this, we sent letters out to the adjacent municipalities of McCain, Waterford, Green, and Mill Creek, as well as the Erie County Department of Planning with this map and the ordinance that goes along with it. And now we have the plan in front of you for your official review at this meeting. Tentatively, we have a public hearing to be held on February 6th prior to the supervisors meeting. And then the 45-day review period would end roughly around February 17th, 18th. So tonight we have the plan. So basically the ordinance is just spelling out the changes. It states that we added the red line to note future plans, sidewalk / trail connections. That way it's not pigeonholed in the sidewalk plans. If there's an asphalt trail that could suffice, we can go with that option as well. We changed the roundabout intersection from a proposed signalized / roundabout to an existing. And then over at the 97 and I-90 interchange, it was transportation priority number 1 was to add a right turn on-ramp slip lane on the 97 to get onto the interstate. PennDOT did that this past summer. So that was taken off the transportation priorities, and then they were renumbered asphalt from there. The only other thing that changed was we updated the parcels. The parcels are current as of December of 2022. So with that, I'll kind of open the floor up for any comments or questions.
Did I understand you right in saying that these are prioritized by number?
Correct. So, if you want to zoom in, Deb, I'll point to where.
See separate list or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, the list is right here.
Okay, yeah.
If we zoom in there. So we have widen Oliver Road approach at Peach Street for dual left turn lanes as priority 1. Priority 2 is extend center turn lane on Perry Highway south of Robinson Road to Popsicle Home Park. Extend center turn lane on Peach Street from Dorn Road to north of Robinson Road, which would kind of fill in that gap where there's no center turn lane. Reline Old Zook Road to Edinburgh Road, widen Edinburgh Road to provide left turn lane onto Old Zook Road, so kind of an intersection improvement for visibility. Reevaluate alignment, signalization, pedestrian access to the following intersections along Peach Street. So we have Peach and Keystone, Peach and Rotunda, Peach and Hershey. So those are kind of our older intersections on the Peach Street corridor. All the other ones have been upgraded since. And then upgrade Hammett Road from Hershey Road to Norm Road to collector classification with a 4-foot wide shoulder. So kind of, that's that real narrow section from the roundabout to Hershey Road.
Gotcha.
So kind of widen and add some shoulders.
So, in the way that they're listed, was there a standard criteria for all of it, or was it just based on what we felt the need was?
It's based on the studies that we received, the rankings there. I think we looked into the long-range transportation plan rankings, but primarily it's ranked by how the township felt we wanted them put in.
Okay.
So highest priority, the lower.
Just a comment, I think, from the board, I would say, is if you're looking to get the funding for number 5 in the alignment, signalization, and PED, if it's number 5 on your priority list, it might as well not be on the list when it comes to the state. I think you'd be more favorable listing that number 1 than anything. Now, again, I think the financial constraint of it is one thing, but I mean, if you're going for something, they would like to fund your number 1 priority, not your 5th. You know what I mean?
And I believe it's already, it's high up on the long-range transportation.
So you're good there, okay.
I think we are good.
Okay.
I think that's going to come hopefully within the next 10 years.
Okay.
And a lot of these I think apart from number 4, I think all of these are on the long-range transportation plan, and they are ranked relatively high. Because we did really well on the long-range transportation plan.
And how is Old Zook Road more of a priority than upgrading Hammett or Hershey?
Good question.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess my one comment would be that, you know, number 4 be placed at number 6
And I can do that, yes.
and replaced with 4.
Yep.
You know,
I can move that down to 6.
I mean, honestly, if I'm asking, I would probably suggest that the upgrade of Hammett Road from Hershey beyond is more of a, you know, 1, 2, or 3. It seems, but I mean, I think that's up for conversation.
Yeah.
Especially if you have another road that you're proposing off of Hershey near the target area, so that blue line there. I mean, if you're acknowledging the capacities there and you have studies for it, it seems that it would be higher on the list.
Yep.
What does anybody else think?
Yeah, I would think, I echo your comments on number 5, I think it should be moved up. And, yeah, I just think 5 should be moved up, and then the switch that you threw in with number 4, moving 4 down, my only comment would be move 5 up, and, or 6 up too, but some mix of that. I too have the same thing with about 4 and 6.
And a lot of the other priorities that are in the long-range transportation plan, most of them were like future intersection improvements, like Hammett and Hershey. That's on here as a thing that needs to be done. That's one of our top priorities.
In coming up with these priorities, and excuse me for asking this, I probably should know this from last, but in coming up with these priorities was safety, risk of injury, life and limb part of what was being considered in these priorities? Or is this just like a traffic flow issue?
If you look at the list, somebody selected where they wanted them. I don't think there's a true way you can, I don't think you could prioritize those in a linear fashion. You know what I mean? I don't think you could find base criteria that has ADT, safety, and all those things to say they're in a list. That's why I brought it up. I was like, it's kind of tough.
Those are our comments. I mean, however you want to capsulize that or however you want to put that in. I have another comment. We looked at this earlier. I know it's up on the top. This might be a very small Peach on the very, very top.
Peach Street, right at Mill Creek line.
Yeah, right at the Mill Creek line. Yeah, the red line there, this is, and Matt's explained this to me, the red line there shows that it's on the west side of Peach, so to speak. And to match up with the sidewalks in Mill Creek, they're already on the east side of Peach. So if that means any difference, Matt explained to me that just shows that there's a sidewalk along that route somewhere. But,
Yeah, we were running out of room for lines on that route, because typically I would just center it on the line, and then, but I'll show the red line straddling, or going on both sides of the road here. So I'll add another red line on this side, so it can be misconstrued that we only want sidewalk on the one side of the road. Because the intent is to have it on both sides if we can, if it's feasible. I know that where it goes across the ravine, it gets real narrow, so that might dictate how it ends up going in and kind of the final draft, but make sure it's shown on both sides.
thanks, Matt.
Again, like the only other comment I would have is, I would ask that the signal intersections at Dorn and Town Hall be stricken from the map based on their actual purpose and need at the time that the map was being developed.
These two right here. And like I said, those were kind of a carryover from the previous transportation plan, so we could take a look at that. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just to me, it just opens us up for, honestly, delayed travel times for no real significant increase in safety or anything like that.
Any other comments or concerns regarding?
I think the arrow on downs is still, I don't think you want to introduce all that traffic into that residential area. I think that's a.
Where's that at?
The purple arrow?
Yes. I think that's a, you're gonna introduce it to all those houses over there. I think that's, and I would love it. I think it makes sense, but as far as
If you,
the neighborhood that's there.
And one way I think the ship's already sailed, because whenever I looked at this, the reason the arrow's there, because all the good alignment points to get to Hammond Road, there's a house there. Because you got this long slender lot, looks perfect to throw a road in there, but there's a house in the garage in the frontage there.
So why do we even have it on there then? Why are we?
It was on the comprehensive plan. And this has to reflect the comprehensive plan. So everything on the comprehensive plan was put on, and then we deducted at the time, that stayed on there, but by no means does it have to stay on. We can always.
yeah, I'd be concerned about capacity along there, road.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that Edinburgh Road study already showed you, just by the decision we made by subdividing that one lot up there, you're gonna almost guarantee a signal improvement in between there and that wrong road already, just based on that, if that were ever developed into something. You know, and you've got capacity issues all over the place there. It just seems like a real challenge.
Yeah, the locals have already made a mud path over that. You've seen that, you know, they cut over it and drive over it anyway.
I mean, I think bottom line, it makes sense to do it, but as far as getting people off of Peach Street, but not to dump them into that neighborhood.
But let's be fair, you don't have to get them off Peach.
And
There's really not a traffic problem on Peach Street.
I think the time to have done that would have been back in the 1990s when it was originally developing. But I think we missed that boat.
Right, a lot of those parcels have been there for years and years.
Yeah, they're already fully developed.
Yeah.
That'd be nice to be gridded residential. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, I think you're compromising that neighborhood, or I think it does compromise that neighborhood.
Yeah, if there are no opportunities like condemned property or, you know, put a road on a existing piece of property or buy it or whatever, then, you know, yeah, why have the arrow there?
But do you really want to, even if you did, do you really want to introduce all that traffic over there?
I don't know, I mean, it wouldn't flow all of the traffic on Peach over there. It would be an increase.
Oh, you look at people coming across, yeah, they're going to Target and.
I think you would need a
Yeah,
study
it's,
to it,
that
because
tells me that it's needed.
if you're relieving
Well,
Peach, you're not gonna develop them in your neighborhood. You
Got it, yeah, I understand, I mean, it's the old dilemma, you know? yeah, proven out by the fact that they're driving over it anyway, to get down, but those are locals. I think those are just the people that live in the
Well,
area.
there's
that
still
do
a
that.
lot of people that take 99 to Hershey to avoid Interchange Road intersection. And that flows really well now. It's actually quicker to go the correct way than it is to try to do the shortcut, which is a mile and a half longer. But people still do it because it's ingrained in them.
How about taking the Hammond Road all the way to Edinburgh Road?
There's a cemetery. We looked into that
They won't say no.
probably in,
Sorry.
I think 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
We looked into doing
Well,
that.
is that, Spring Hill?
It goes right through the Willows property.
Yeah.
And there's a cemetery.
Yeah.
I can't reach it, but. Right there. There's a cemetery in that corner right there. And it's right on the property line. It's probably a little bit over the property line. So in order to make it work, you have to kind of swing at the line up on Silk Road, and at that point, you wiped out half the farmstead.
Alright.
And that's probably the better place to put it anyways, because then you have the sight distance for the intersection. Now, if the Willow property sells and they turn it into a subdivision, that's always a possibility.
Yes, the other thing I saw was down on Town Hall Road, we're coming from Town Hall Village over to 19. To me, the sidewalk doesn't belong, because you're dropping people out there, where are they gonna go from there? We've talked about that, I still think
That was requested in the long-range transportation plan surveys, and it actually got ranked pretty high on there, so that's why that's put on there.
On the sidewalk all the way to 19?
Yeah. Because whenever they did the surveys, the public survey, that was on there.
Where people do you see walking in front of your place?
Which is my dog is freaking out, there's a video.
Well, we'll see a few walk by the township building almost every day.
Well, this is a little bit different though than here.
Oh, yeah.
Because where are they going? Out on the P Street.
I guess to kind of his point, would it be okay just to start it at Honeysuckle?
Yeah, to me that makes sense.
Especially because the land's a lot more favorable, I suppose.
And actually, you should have that red line on Honeysuckle, because on that,
There's already sidewalk there.
I know, and so this is just priorities?
This is filling the gaps.
Okay, gotcha.
So the sidewalk's gonna be used as the mechanism whenever a development happens, that they put in the sidewalk. That's the primary purpose, so that we get away from the whole, you're in a business zone, you have to put in sidewalk, and they're like, well, we're right on the Waterford line. And hopefully be able to do away with preferring sidewalks.
I think it makes sense from Honeysuckle east.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense to me to try to introduce more people out on P Street as a pedestrian. Roads are, my understanding, roads are, you know, big, not that people walk on.
They're changing.
I see it going the other way.
The thing now is all modes of transportation.
Yeah.
Anything
I
else?
suppose
Did you get all that, Tammy?
Trying.
Okay.
Just a small map.
Yeah.
But we only get to update this maybe once this is the second time since 2020, so every few years, so might as well make as best of the update as we can.
You've done a good job.
22.
All right. I think that's all I had for that item. Now, we'll take the comments of the supervisors, see what the comments we get from the other municipalities, county planning, we'll make changes as needed. Not gonna promise you all the changes will be made, but we'll discuss with the supervisors. Hope to have a pretty final copy for the public hearing. That way, if the public hearing goes well, we can proceed with adoption. Then mid-February, the last meeting in February is the earliest we can adopt it.
The only other thing that I wanted to add is, if you guys have any questions about the saldo, or if you want to meet, somebody can email me a date and time and we can see if everybody else wants to meet and just go through it.
Yeah, Chris, I know, wanted to meet, and I would like to meet just to sit down and just to start to get into it. And, because I haven't done that much with it. I've tried to read it, it's kind of sleep induction, but that's what you'd expect, something like that. Should we contact you then and?
Yeah, and then we can set up a time, I'll just make sure it meets with everybody's.
Okay.
I'll make the time work.
Comprehensive plan implementation update.
I don't know if this is comprehensive plan implementation or if anything as an FYI. The county received a grant for a bike lane from the city to Quarry. And they're working on that. And there's a possibility that the bike lane may travel through Summit, so we're kind of made aware. Real preliminary. So they're gonna meet with the municipalities that they're going through and discuss things, so just kind of give you a heads up that I think for the most part, they're trying to follow the Buffalo and Pittsburgh Railroad right of way. But whenever you get into the game lands, there's no easement that you can, the rails just right off into the swamp. So at that point, they have to look at going on roads and other options. So whenever they get to Waterford Township, they kind of leave the railroad and kind of go cross country. They'll either be through Summit or Green or both and kind of make their way into the city where they catch the railroad right away again and continue on. But as far as where it's going, I don't know. They're supposed to meet with us and we'll discuss it. And I'll use my biking expertise to tell them what roads are good and which ones aren't.
They'll tell us, and we don't have any choice. I mean, they'll tell us where it's going instead of us giving a...
No, they're gonna meet with us to kind of determine where the best places probably for it to go are. So, try to keep them off 97 and 19.
Yeah.
But just kind of give you a heads up. It's probably a few years out yet.
From Erie to Corey.
Erie to Quarry.
Wow.
I liked it. Started.
Couple hills.
Just a few.
I don't know that you're going to avoid that. That's what it is.
You can't, yeah.
That's what an e-bike's for.
What's that?
That's what an e-bike is for.
E-bikes are becoming really popular.
Just get a car.
Especially with the price of cars, a lot of people are buying e-bikes opposed to cars nowadays.
Yeah, did you know that you have an insurance obligation if you own an e-bike? So I did not realize.
Oh, really?
Motorized.
99% of people do not have insurance.
Okay.
Well, in the city, you have the people riding around with the weed whacker engines on the bikes. The whole
They're legal.
Every day. They're cool. Everybody knows.
Okay, so you're okay with the update on the comprehensive plan?
Yes. I was just sharing that tidbit, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, we're good.
It's comprehensive planish.
It is.
It's very comprehensive.
Planish.
Yeah.
Then I need to ask for an adjournment.
I'll make motion we adjourn.
So moved. Yeah, exactly.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.